They told you aliens are far away, so far that contact feels impossible, so far that the silence makes sense. That belief is comfortable. It makes the universe feel empty, it makes us feel alone. But that belief may be completely wrong. Modern science is pointing in a very different direction, not farther, closer than anyone expected. The real mystery is no longer where aliens are. The real mystery is why we cannot see them, because there is a growing possibility that changes everything. They might not be missing, they might be hidden, and if that is true, then the universe is not silent. We are simply unable to understand what is already around us. In this video, you will learn why scientists believe the distance argument might be a mistake. You will understand the logic behind one of the biggest cosmic puzzles ever discovered. You will see how advanced life could exist right next to us without being noticed. You will explore ideas from modern physics that suggest reality itself may be layered in ways the human brain cannot naturally detect. And by the end, you will face a disturbing thought. We might not be searching for aliens. We might be surrounded by them. For centuries, humans have looked up at the night sky and assumed one simple thing. If life exists out there, it must be far away. That assumption shaped everything. Our telescopes scan distant stars. Our signals are sent across light years. Our imagination travels to galaxies that take millions of years to reach. Distance became the explanation for silence. Space looks empty, it feels quiet, it stretches beyond comprehension. There are hundreds of billions of galaxies. Each galaxy contains billions of stars. Around many of those stars, there are planets. This is not speculation, this is confirmed. Astronomers now know that planets are everywhere. Some of them look very similar to Earth. Some of them sit in the exact zone where life could exist. Statistically, life should not be rare, it should be common. That is the first crack in the story, because if life is common, then intelligent life should also appear many times, not once, not twice, but potentially millions of times across the universe. And that leads to a problem that scientists cannot ignore. If intelligent life is common, then where is everyone? This question is simple, but it is one of the most unsettling questions in science, because when you follow the logic, something feels wrong. Even a slow civilization traveling at a tiny fraction of the speed of light could spread across a galaxy in a few million years. That sounds like a long time, but on cosmic scales, it is nothing. The Milky Way galaxy is more than 13 billion years old. That means if even one advanced civilization started expanding early, it could have reached every corner of the galaxy long before humans existed, including here, including Earth. So again, the question becomes sharper. Why is there no clear evidence? Why is the sky silent for a long time? The answer felt obvious. They must be too far away. But that answer no longer holds up, because distance alone cannot explain the silence anymore. And this is where the shift begins. Scientists are starting to consider a different possibility, a possibility that feels much more uncomfortable. The issue might not be distance. The issue might be perception. Humans experience reality in a very limited way. We see a narrow range of light. We hear a narrow range of sound. We understand only a fraction of the physical laws that govern the universe. Everything outside that range is invisible to us. Right now, around you, there are signals passing through your body, radio waves, infrared radiation, microwaves. You cannot see them, you cannot feel most of them, but they are real. Now take that idea further. If advanced civilizations exist, their technology would likely operate far beyond our current understanding. Their signals might not look like signals to us. Their presence might not look like presence. We might be searching for something familiar. While the truth looks completely different, that changes the entire search, because it means aliens might not be hiding behind distance. They might be hidden behind complexity or hidden behind dimensions we cannot access. Modern physics suggests that reality may not be limited to the three dimensions we experience. There could be additional dimensions folded into the fabric of space itself. If that is true, then entire structures of reality could exist right next to us, not far away, right here, but completely undetectable. That idea sounds extreme. But it comes from serious theoretical work, and it leads to a possibility that feels almost impossible to accept. Aliens might not need to travel across the galaxy to reach us. They might only need to move across dimensions. And if they already exist in those dimensions, then the distance between us is not measured in light years. It is measured in awareness. That is a very different kind of distance. It is not about how far something is. It is about whether you are capable of perceiving it at all. This is why the question is changing. It is no longer just about searching deeper into space. It is about questioning how much of reality we are missing. Because the truth is, humans have been wrong before. There was a time when people believed Earth was the center of everything. There was a time when invisible forces like radio waves were completely unknown. Each time, reality turned out to be far more complex than it seemed. And now, we might be standing at another turning point. A moment where the biggest mistake is not underestimating distance, but underestimating how limited human perception really is. So in this video, we are going to break that illusion. We are going to explore why space feels endless. It stretches so far that the human mind struggles to process it. Distances are measured in light years. Numbers become meaningless. This is why the idea feels safe. Aliens must be far away, too far to reach us. But that assumption breaks when time enters the equation. The universe is not only vast, it is also very old. The Milky Way galaxy alone is more than 13 billion years old. Earth formed much later. Human civilization is only a tiny fraction of that timeline. Now consider this. Even with technology far weaker than what science imagines, a civilization could slowly expand into space. Not fast, not at the speed of light, just slowly. One star system at a time, a spacecraft travels to a nearby star. It takes thousands of years. That sounds extreme, but it is not a problem for a long-lived civilization. They settle there, they build, they grow, then they send out more missions. This process repeats. Each new colony becomes a new starting point. Expansion spreads like a chain reaction. This idea is called galactic colonization, and the map behind it is surprisingly simple. Even if each step takes thousands of years, the entire galaxy could be explored in a few million years. A few million years sounds long, but compared to billions of years, it is almost nothing. This is where the illusion begins to collapse. Because if intelligent life appeared even once before humans, just once, millions or billions of years earlier, then that civilization would have had more than enough time to spread everywhere, every star, every system, every planet, including this one. Now add another layer. Scientists estimate that there are billions of Earth-like planets in our galaxy alone. Not rare, not special, common. Life began on Earth relatively quickly after conditions became stable. That suggests something important. Life might not be a rare accident, it might be a natural outcome. And if simple life is common, then over enough time, intelligent life should appear again and again, different worlds, different paths. Same result, thinking beings looking at the stars. Statistically, the galaxy should be full of civilizations. Some older than us, some far more advanced. This leads to a powerful expectation. We should see signs, signals, structures, artifacts, something, but we do not. The sky remains silent. No confirmed messages, no clear evidence of visitors, nothing that cannot be explained by natural processes. This is the contradiction. On one side, probability says the galaxy should be alive with activity. On the other side, observation shows nothing, not even a trace. The more scientists study this gap, the more uncomfortable it becomes, because the numbers are not small errors. They are massive. It is like expecting a crowded city and finding an empty desert. This is where the question sharpens. If they exist, and if they had time, then why are they not here? Why is Earth not already part of something larger? Why does everything feel untouched? Something in this picture is missing. Something does not add up, and this mystery has a name that has troubled scientists for decades. In the middle of the 20th century, a simple question changed everything. A physicist named Enrico Fermi was sitting with colleagues during a casual conversation. They were talking about space, about aliens, about the future. Then he asked one question: where is everyone? It sounded simple, but it cut straight through the illusion, because by that point, scientists already understood something important. The universe is full of stars. Many of those stars have planets. Some of those planets should be like Earth. The numbers are already pointing in one direction. Life should not be rare, and yet there was silence, no confirmed signals, no clear evidence, no contact. That contradiction became known as the Fermi paradox, high probability on one side, total silence on the other. The more data scientists collect, the stronger the paradox becomes. Astronomers now estimate that there are hundreds of billions of planets in our galaxy alone, not in the universe, just in one galaxy. Many of these planets exist in the habitable zone, a region where liquid water can exist. Water is not rare, organic molecules are not rare, the building blocks of life are everywhere. Some of them have even been found drifting in deep space. That means the ingredients for life are spread across the cosmos. So the question becomes sharper: if the ingredients are common and time is abundant, then why is there no clear evidence of intelligent life? Scientists have proposed many explanations. Some of them are hopeful, some of them are deeply unsettling. One idea is that civilizations destroy themselves, they reach a certain level of technology, they create powerful tools, then something goes wrong, war, environmental collapse. Uncontrolled artificial intelligence, the same intelligence that allows a civilization to grow, may also lead to its end. If this happens often, then most civilizations never last long enough to spread across the galaxy. Another possibility is less dramatic. Advanced civilizations might simply lose interest in expansion. They turn inward, they focus on virtual realities, they create perfect digital worlds, physical exploration becomes unnecessary. There's also a more strategic explanation. They might be avoiding contact on purpose. A concept known as the dark force theory suggests that the universe could be dangerous. Every civilization stays silent to avoid being detected by potential threats. In this view, silence is not empty, it is cautious. But there is another idea that feels even more disturbing. The problem might not be that they are missing, the problem might be that we are not noticing them. Human detection methods are extremely limited. We listen for radio signals, we search for patterns that look familiar, but an advanced civilization might not use anything we recognize. Their communication could be completely different. Their technology could blend into natural phenomena. There are signals in space that scientists still do not fully understand. Fast radio bursts, unusual energy patterns, most of them are explained as natural events, but not all questions are fully resolved. This creates a strange possibility. The evidence might already exist, hidden inside data that looks ordinary, hidden in signals that appear random, or hidden in forms that human senses cannot detect at all. The silence might not be real. It might only be silence from our point of view, and if that is true, then the paradox becomes even deeper. It is no longer just about absence. It becomes a question of perception. Humans search for life using one template. The template is Earth, carbon-based chemistry, liquid water, moderate temperatures. This makes sense. It is the only example we know, but it also creates a serious limitation because the universe does not have to follow the same pattern. Life on Earth is built from carbon because carbon forms stable, complex molecules. But carbon is not the only option. Silicon, for example, can also form complex structures. Some scientists have explored the idea of silicon-based life. It would behave differently. It would survive in environments that would destroy Earth life. And that is only the beginning. Life might not even be biological. A civilization could reach a point where it replaces its own biology. Machines become more efficient, more durable, more intelligent. Over time, consciousness could move from organic bodies into artificial systems. This is not science fiction alone. Researchers already study artificial intelligence that can learn and adapt. Some systems can improve themselves without direct human control. Now extend that process thousands or millions of years into the future. A machine-based civilization would not need oxygen. It would not need water. It could survive in extreme environments. Deep space would not be a barrier. It would not look alive in any traditional sense. It would not breathe. It would not grow like plants or animals. To human instruments, it might appear as nothing more than unusual energy patterns. There is also a more extreme idea, life made of energy itself. In certain conditions, plasma can form complex, self-organizing structures. Plasma exists in stars, lightning, and cosmic environments. Some researchers have suggested that plasma could behave in ways that resemble life. It can move. It can respond to electromagnetic fields. It can form stable shapes under the right conditions. This type of existence would be completely alien. No cells, no DNA, no solid body, just patterns of energy. And then there is scale. Life could be microscopic, far smaller than anything we can easily detect, or it could be vast, spread across entire environments. A single organism might exist as a network, not one body, but many connected parts. On Earth, there are already hints of this. Fungal networks underground connect entire forests. They share nutrients and information between trees. Some scientists describe these networks as a kind of distributed intelligence. Now extend that idea beyond Earth. An alien life form could exist as a system, not an individual. It could be part of a planet or part of space itself. Something like that would not be recognized as life. It would not send signals, it would not build structures that stand out, it would simply exist, and that leads to a critical problem. Human detection methods are built around human expectations. We search for oxygen in atmospheres, we search for radio signals, we search for chemical signatures that match life on Earth. Anything outside that framework is easy to miss. There are entire ranges of radiation that human eyes cannot see. Entire frequencies that instruments only recently began to detect. Even now, most of the universe is invisible to direct observation. Dark matter makes up a large part of the cosmos, yet it does not interact with light. It is there, but it cannot be seen. That alone shows how much reality can hide from human senses. So the possibility becomes difficult to ignore. Aliens might not be far away, they might not even be rare, they might be all around us, but they do not look like life. And because of that, they remain completely unnoticed, which leads to an even deeper idea. The problem might not be what we are looking for, it might be how we experience reality itself. For most of human history, reality seems simple. 3 dimensions of space, one direction of time. Everything exists within this framework. Length, width, height. That is how the brain understands the world. But modern physics has slowly broken this picture apart. Some of the most advanced theories suggest that reality is not limited to these dimensions. There may be more, not visible, not directly measurable, but still real. In theories like string theory, the universe may contain additional spatial dimensions, not large and open like the ones we experience, but compact, T-folded into space at scales far smaller than atoms. These dimensions could exist at every point in space, right here, right now, yet completely hidden. There is another idea that pushes this even further, the concept of a higher dimensional space where our entire universe exists like a surface. A useful comparison is a flat sheet of paper. Creatures living on that sheet would only know 2 dimensions. They could move left and right, forward and backward, but they would have no awareness of the 3rd dimension above them. A 3-dimensional object passing through their world would appear strange and incomplete. They would only see slices of it. Now apply that idea to our universe. Humans might be like those flat creatures, limited to a lower dimensional view. If higher dimensions exist, then entire structures could be present all around us. But we would only see fragments or nothing at all. This is not just imagination. Physicists seriously explore these possibilities to explain fundamental forces in particles. Some models suggest that gravity itself might leak into other dimensions. This could explain why gravity appears weaker compared to other forces. If that is true, then space is not as simple as it looks. It is layered. Now consider how this changes the idea of alien life. If advanced civilizations understand and use these extra dimensions, then they are not limited by distance in the usual sense. They would not need to travel across light years. They could move through dimensions that act like shortcuts, not faster than light in our space, but outside of it. From our perspective, they would appear to move instantly, or not appear at all, because they might not exist fully within our observable universe. They could be adjacent to it, overlapping with it, interacting in ways that are subtle or undetectable. This creates a strange possibility. Aliens MiG. HT not be visiting from faraway stars. They might already be here, not in the sky, but in layers of reality that humans cannot access. Distance in this context loses its meaning. The gap between 2 points is no longer measured in kilometers or light years. It is measured in dimensions. A civilization that can move across dimensions would not see Earth as distant. It would see Earth as nearby. Just separated by a boundary, humans do not understand. And if such movement is possible, then the silence we experience becomes harder to explain with distance alone, because nothing would be truly far anymore. Everything would be close, just hidden behind a different structure of reality. which raises a more unsettling thought. The barrier between us and them might not be space, it might be the limits of human perception and the tools we use to explore the universe. For decades, the search for alien life has followed a clear strategy. Listen to space, look far away. Scientists built large radio telescopes. They pointed them toward distant stars. They waited for a signal. This idea led to major projects like SETI Institute. The goal was simple: detect a message from another civilization. A pattern, a repetition, something that cannot be explained by nature. Radio waves became the focus because humans use them. They travel far, they carry information. So the assumption formed quietly: if aliens exist, they will communicate in a similar way. But this assumption may be the biggest mistake in the entire search. Human technology is still young. Radio communication is just over 100 years old. On a cosmic scale, that is nothing. An advanced civilization could be thousands, millions, or even billions of years ahead. Their technology would not look like ours. It would not behave like ours. They might not use radio waves at all. They could use forms of communication that move through dimensions, or signals that travel faster than light in ways not yet understood, or methods based on physics that humans have not discovered. To human instruments, these signals would appear as noise, or they would not appear at all. Even on Earth, signals can be hidden in plain sight. Modern communication systems use encryption. They compress data. They spread signals across frequencies. Without the correct key, the message becomes invisible. Now extend this idea to a civilization far more advanced. Their signals could be so complex that human systems cannot decode them or even recognize them as signals. They could pass through Earth constantly, undetected. There are already mysteries in space that challenge understanding. Fast radio bursts appear suddenly and release enormous energy. Some repeat, some do not. Most are explained as natural cosmic events, but their exact origins are still being studied. Then there are unusual patterns in cosmic radiation, signals that do not fit perfectly into known categories. Scientists investigate these carefully. They search for natural explanations first, but the possibility remains. Human knowledge is incomplete. And when knowledge is incomplete, interpretation becomes limited. There is also another problem. The search is focused outward. Telescopes scan distant planets. They analyze atmospheres for oxygen and methane. These are signs of life as humans understand it. But if life exists in forms that do not produce these signals, it will be missed. If intelligence exists without communication in our detectable range, it will be ignored. This creates a narrow window. Only civilizations that behave like humans at a similar stage of development using similar technology can be detected. Everyone else remains invisible. It is like trying to find ocean life using only sound from the surface. You detect some, but most REM ain't hidden below. There is a growing realization among some scientists. The problem may not be the absence of signals. The problem may be recognition. The evidence could already be present. Hidden in data, hidden in patterns, hidden in phenomena, labeled as unknown or unexplained. But without the right tools or theories, it remains unnoticed. This shifts the focus in a very important way. The search for aliens is not only about building bigger telescopes, it is about expanding how humans define communication, intelligence, and life itself. Because if those definitions are too narrow, then the universe could be full of activity, and humans would still see nothing. There is another possibility that feels harder to accept. The silence might not be natural. It might be intentional. An advanced civilization would not just have better technology. It would have better strategy, better understanding of risk. Contact with a less advanced species is not a simple decision. On Earth, when a more advanced civilization encounters a less advanced one, the result is rarely equal. History shows imbalance, control, sometimes destruction. An intelligent species that understands this pattern might choose a different path. Observation instead of contact. They might watch from a distance, study behavior, study development, not out of kindness, not out of cruelty, but out of caution. There is a concept discussed by scientists and thinkers. It is often called the zoo hypothesis. The idea is simple. Humanity could be like a species inside a controlled environment, observed but not disturbed. In this scenario, contact is avoided on purpose, not because it is impossible, but because it is restricted. Rules may exist, guidelines that prevent interference with developing civilizations. This would explain something strange. The universe appears silent, but not chaotic. There is no clear evidence of alien activity on Earth, no open contact, no visible structures. It is as if something is holding back. Another reason could be self-protection. An advanced civilization might see the universe as a dangerous place. Not all intelligent life would be peaceful. Some civilizations could be aggressive, expanding, consuming resources. Revealing your location could be a risk. This idea connects to a darker perspective. Silence is safety. Every civilization stays hidden, listening, watching, but never speaking. In that kind of universe, any signal could attract attention. Not all attention would be friendly, so the safest choice is to remain invisible. Now consider Earth from that perspective. A young civilization, rapid technological growth, unpredictable behavior. From an outside view, humanity may not appear stable. Wars, conflicts, environmental damage, these are signals too, not radio signals, behavioral signals. An advanced observer might decide that contact is not yet appropriate or not safe. There is also a more complex idea: control without awareness. A civilization far beyond human level could influence events in subtle ways, not direct control, but gentle shaping, small changes, small pressures, guiding development without being seen. This would leave no clear evidence, no obvious signs, only patterns that feel natural. If something like this exists, it would be extremely difficult to detect because it would not break the rules of physics in visible ways. It would operate within them. This leads to a deeply unsettling thought. Humanity might not be alone, not in the simple sense, but as part of a larger system, a system that is structured, layered, possibly monitored. And if that is true, then the silence of the universe is not empty, it is controlled, not by force, but by decision, which means the absence of evidence is not evidence of absence. It may be the result of something choosing not to be seen, and that choice changes everything about how the universe should be understood.